cycling, but nothing like super consistent. I own a bike here. I just never get on it. I wish I would have held on to a lot more hobbies. I mean, I'm trying to get back into them now, but all the hobbies that you have when you're a kid, well, all the hobbies that I had or people my age had when we were kids. The kids nowadays, they don't get out at all, but when we were kids, that's all we did. We were fit little fucking kids, I'll tell you that. And then came video games and virtually going outside. And everything changed. I mean, how many people are playing online gaming right now? Look at that kid. Good boy. He's such a handsome little kid. Oh, the mud! I thought I was out of the mud, and then there was more mud. Can somebody please come over here and clear the garden? So, speaking of horrible German accents, or rather comical, let's say comical German accents. If y'all haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, go see Jojo Rabbit. It's so well done. So well done. Taika Waititi just crushed the game with that movie. The performances are fantastic. The writing, the direction, the art direction. Yeah, soup to nuts, guys. Superb film. And then here we got this view. Whew. There, that's nearly up the hill. And this is where my friends and family come and stay. And that is a barn back there with a bunch of our knickknacks and toys and a podcast studio and some hunting hounds and chicken coop back there somewhere. Back there beyond the... That's Zach Ramalan on his one wheel. We call him LZ for Lil Zach or Zipper. Whew. Man, that hill. You know what though, like a metaphor for life? The more you go up a hill, the more times you push yourself up that hill, the easier it becomes every single time. Incrementally, you don't feel it always, but incrementally, the more you push yourself up and over what is blocking your way, what is in front of you, what is something trying to impede you or hold you back, you can fight over these things. We can fight over these things. We can fight over them together and help each other fight over them together. And every time we do, they get a little bit easier and a little bit easier. So, I don't know. Just a thought after walking up that hill and thinking to myself, it's gotten a little easier every time. We don't have any geese, but we do have chickens. That's Nick McNaught. He's my right hand and all this. That's my friend. That's Zach. I already pointed Zach out on his one wheel. He's our content creator. That's Marshall. This is our Texas boy, ace in the hole, jack of all trades, master of all.
Is this alive?
I trust him not at all, but he's got a great smile.
Is this someone or alive?
No, this is alive. You guys are all just being introduced to the world. And that's my boy. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
We're gonna go.
And that's Nikki's one wheel, and that's the pint. That's not. Whoa. Oh, okay.
The good kind of catfish.
Yeah, totally. The good kind of catfish. Oh, I thought you were gonna go paddleboarding. Okay, we might come back down to the river.
We'll go zip down.
Yeah. Should we try and paddleboard in the river? Oh no, it's all like dirty right now.
What is it?
To go paddleboarding in the river? Like trying to go paddleboarding upstream?
It's going to take you straight down.
Yeah. All right. These guys. These guys are no fun. Come on. Could have gone paddleboarding. I don't want to make that harder for people who don't. I don't want it to be taken as, me flaunting it or me, being like, oh, woe is me stuck in this quarantine. And I've seen the memes about influences or famous people or, the whole woe is me stuff. And I'm not woe is meing at all. I just want to make sure that by me showing this, it's not making it harder for anybody who's stuck in a smaller space. I hope this is getting you outside a little bit. I hope this is something that can be more restorative and beneficial, and sharing. We got to share, guys. That's how the rest of this civilization is either going to live or die, is of whether or not we share resources and information and energy and love. Oh, I think I got a mosquito bite on my shoulder. Mother of pearl. Oh, that's not. Eesh. Oh. Anyway, here's one more. Another little. Let's start out there. Panning shot. Whoop. That's my skid steer. That's what that's called. It's called a skid steer. Oh, man. Oh, I totally got bit. Oh, I thought a bug. Well, we're nearly, I think we're nearly to the end of our journey. But I got a few more minutes before I get back up. Rock and roll, brother. I don't know, I wouldn't say there's necessarily a lot of mosquitoes here. There's just the regular amount of mosquitoes here, the normal. We try to do as much as we can to mitigate that and have, bug sprays and candles and even do some insect traps and things of that nature. So we do a pretty good job with that, but nature's still nature, and I think it's particularly buggy just because we just got a bunch of rain, and so there's there's standing water everywhere. So little buggies, particularly mosquitoes, can flourish. They flourish in such a state. Oh, here, I'll give you one more shot. Bloop. The meadow. All these flowers are coming out. It's so cool. Oof, man. Guys, posture. Gotta keep your posture up. Muy importante. Qué rico. But I'm the most beautiful flower. I know. Stop. You're embarrassing me. I'm not a flower. I'm a human being. Oh, I got the bitesies. Hello, Turkey, again. Your son's name is Gavin Fudge? Okay, hi, Gavin Fudge. Well, oh man, dude, what the heck? What is happening back here? Ow. Eek. I can't feel it. Oh, it's like I might be getting bit by a fly. That's what's going on. Ugh. I hate fly bites. Hey. Oh, he's like on my neck now. Oh, geez Louise. He won't leave me alone. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, God. It's a little Jeff Goldblum feasting on my somewhat naked body. Get out of here, fly. Get out. Oh, man. What is the chicken do? There's a chicken all the way up in the playset. Bah! 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 Buck, 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 buck. What are you doing over here? Ah! Buck, 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 buck. What are you doing? See, here's the thing. Get out of here. So, his chickens, they've been like sneaking out of, well, not sneaking out of the coop, but like, instead of laying their eggs in the coop, they wait till we open up the doors and then they go and lay them in like all these crazy places. It's almost like an Easter egg hunt, but not, but kind of better because you get an egg out of it instead of candy, but kind of worse because you get an egg out of it instead of candy. Holy Toledo. And right back to my bacon bits. Okay. We're gonna have a little cool down, guys. We're gonna have a little cool down. We're just gonna chill. Oh, man. Look at that. That was that road rash I got from falling off my one wheel, and I think the fly was feasting on it. Eesh. Gross. Yeah, making us work for the eggs. Indeed. We work hard for the eggies. So hard for the eggies. We work hard for the eggies, and you know you better treat them right. Poor connection. Oh, okay, we're back. Hey, from England, it's Valian. Hello, England. Hello, England. Come on, England! I really wish they would tell me how much time I have left in my life. Can you? If you tap the screen, does it tell you? Nope, it just focuses. Can I do effects and stuff? Oh, you can share photos and stuff. Oh, copy that. Get out of there. All right. Guys, seriously, like sometimes I feel like I'm a total Luddite when it comes to technology, which is very un-Chuck Bartowski of me, but I don't know. I can't keep up with all these new technologies, you know? They're constantly evolving, you know what I mean? Oh, wow. Oh, it's so muggy. Keep that scratch clean. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm social media illiterate. I would just say that it itself is constantly evolving. So all the, whatever new little plugins or options that you can screw around with. Like, I never know when the new ones get added, and then people are doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? A good book recommendation, I would say Sapiens and Homo Deus. I would highly recommend everybody read those two books. I found them to be very insightful, informative. They're not all pure fact. There's opinion in them that the author makes very clear as his opinion, I think. I don't agree with everything the author, Yuval Noah Harari, says or implies necessarily, but I think he's an incredibly intelligent person who's put together some interesting and compelling and sobering thoughts and arguments about who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. And though he is an atheist and I am not, that's what I've heard. I'm pretty sure that he is, but I don't think that is irreconcilable when it comes to a lot of that information. I think that it's just whether you are a spiritual person or not, there's still some science that applies to all of us, and just logic and reason that we all need to be, I think, very mindful of, and he tackles a lot of that stuff. So I think it's, hello Iran, how are you all out there? How is the Middle East in general coping with all of this stuff? I know that was it Iran actually? Didn't you all have one of the larger outbreaks out there? I hope you're doing okay. I know Italy did for sure. I do read philosophy, but not as much as I ought to, probably. I've only recently I've never been a big reader, unfortunately. Books I've always had a hard time reading, because I have a hard time finding books that keep my attention. And yeah, I don't know. And partly because there were so many other things, particularly growing up in the 80s and particularly having access to video games, that became my reading almost. And I still learned a hell of a lot from all the video games that I've played. But I didn't then do a lot of reading, and I now I'm still trying to get better at reading. It's still difficult for me. And people say, "Oh, do books on tape," but audiobooks. And the problem is the audiobooks I find to be almost even more difficult, because you don't have to pay as much attention. You can kind of be multitasking and doing it. And I really, really want to be. If I'm reading something, I need to be able to, take it all in and process it and understand it. I did read comic books. I read a lot of comic books when I was between the ages of, 10 to 16 or something like that. Those are my most formative comic book reading years. And then I still will read comics or graphic novels here and there. I have not learned to cook anything yet, but I'm planning on it. Hi, stuffy nose. Do I sound that stuffy? I don't feel that stuffy. Although, do I always sound like I have a stuffy nose? You know how you just don't know how you sound really until you hear your recorded voice? You're like, who is that imposter? Christmas album? I would love to make a Christmas album. It's still my intention. Flow. Is that what the question was? What or where is your Zen or flow? Oh, I thought you said, did your shirt say Zen or flow? What or where is my Zen or flow? I mean, God, ultimately. God, who I believe to be the author and creator of all things, creator and master of all that is or was or will be or whatever, Alpha and Omega. Energy, life force that is in and through all things and lover of our souls, like that concept. That, I think, that's the only thing that I can come close to putting my faith or trust into, to understand what it, even begin to understand what it means to live or exist in this world, in this life, and what it is that we contribute to it, and what value there is in us instilled by that energy. Because I don't know how we have value other outside of that. Outside of that, you know what I mean? Like, if there is no point, or there's no authorship or penmanship or artistry to this construct of reality, whatever it is, then there is no real. Then this really is just a big accident, and there really is no point. And I don't mean like in a despondent way. I'm just saying, like, what's the point of even keeping all this together? It doesn't. There's no ultimate destination. And by the way, and I understand that the journey is just as important, if not more than important, than the destination and how we treat each other here. But ultimately, why? What are we being held accountable to? Why do we have a sense of conscience, and what is good and bad or right or wrong or all of that stuff. If there is none of that, if there's the casing of a infinite, beyond comprehension, energy, creative force, if that isn't encasing all of this, then what are we ultimately accountable to on a moral level? I don't understand. So that's one of the reasons why I choose to believe in that, because I actually do believe deep down in us, and we all know that there is a little compass in there. You can feel it, or in here, or however you want to put it, your conscience, your soul. You can feel when it's being hurt or traumatized or taken from, or when you are taking from other. There's a real deal. You can feel that, and I don't know. I can't explain that, and I can't explain how you can feel different energy, and not like I'm not trying to get all like, woo, whatever, whatever that was. But anybody can tell you that. I mean, by the way, for anybody out there who might think I'm speaking a little too New Age-ish or whatever, I mean, Christians, I know you can relate to differences in energy and feeling differences in people's spirit, and and knowing people by their spirits, and when you have a check in the spirit and all that kind of stuff. It's the same concept. You can feel those energies. Animals can feel those energies. Kids can feel those energies. That you don't have to have had any kind of training to still have a connection between souls, which is why, you can feel the energy in a room full of people that are having a great time, or the energy in a room full of people that are not having a great time. And it's tangible, it's palpable, it's real. So I don't know. I can't answer any of that stuff. I can't, and I, like the rest of the world and all of science, still can't answer the why. If there was in fact this Big Bang, which I don't doubt that there was, why was there a Big Bang? What was the initial, who lit the fuse? Like what is all that? I don't know. And unless there's something that's so unbelievably compelling to the contrary that would somehow definitively prove otherwise, I am going to the day that I die, believe that there is in fact an author to all of this, and that author is for us and loves us and wants us to reflect that love within our own lives and to one another. That, I think, is the bedrock, the foundation, the crux of all of this, guys. Jesus couldn't keep talking about it. Couldn't stop talking about it. Or St. Amos, by the way. That's another, even predates Jesus. And other prophets or people or, that have come along and said, God loves you. Stop not loving yourself and each other. To the woman at the well, to the all the sinners, all the hanging out. The evidence in the Bible is it's so compelling, just how much about love and non-judgment Christ was, and yet how much Christianity, I find in a lot of ways, has become the opposite. And we, for a long time, it's how much can you judge that person before you love them? And that's your neighbor. That's like literally your own family members or people that live next door to you. People go to your church. What about loving the people that are your actual enemies, that are warring against you, that are conspiring against you? The very Bible that you're all gathering for, or we are all gathering for, as I also attend church as well from time to time. That Bible that gathers Christians in churches on Sundays is calling us to love. Period. Like the love, like sacrificial love, but the only way we can get there is to practice deep empathy and realize that this is what Jesus was talking about. Like, it's not your fault and it's not their fault. That's where all that shame and judgment comes from, because we're all saying, well, you should have known better. Well, guess what? You didn't. None of us did. You don't know better until you know better. That's it. Bottom line, done. So we really got to be loving, guys. That's where people feel and see and experience God, I think, on a regular and daily basis the most. We are the body We are to go love. We are to go shelter. We are to go protect. We are to go fight for and fight with and stand with. And not just the people that we like. And there's a lot of people out there right now, I know, that we're all, 2 minutes. It's for the best. I'll probably just keep talking. There's a lot of people out there. Take stock right now. Think of all the people that you don't like in your life. And there's a lot, me as well. And what kind of feelings do you harbor toward them? And is that getting in the way of your ability to see the child in them that was not given the tools, was not given the teaching, was not given the counsel to become a more developed, more full, evolved version of themselves? And they're stuck in a place right now in their journey. And think about the amount of negative energy we spend toward thinking about or putting out to that person, when that is never going to get them elevated. That's never going to help. You don't shame somebody into change. I mean, you can, but it's not good. That ultimately doesn't offer lasting or good or healthy change. And a lot of us have struggled with that in our lives, right? A lot of us have had parents or grandparents or